The Denver Broncos, captained by Bo Nix, have achieved the precise feat that the entire football world deemed unattainable. They have vanquished the formidable Buffalo Bills in a dramatic, high-scoring affair that culminated in a 33-30 overtime victory. This contest was, by any measure, an absolute spectacle of the highest order. The sheer volume of narrative threads, pivotal moments, and statistical anomalies leaves me genuinely struggling to pinpoint a singular starting point for analysis. Bo Nix, remarkably, concluded the game as his team's premier rusher, a statement that underscores the peculiar nature of the Broncos' offensive approach. The conventional ground attack was rendered almost entirely inert, with the complement of running backs mustering a mere 41 yards across 10 collective carries. Nix himself contributed 29 yards on a dozen attempts, but his primary impact was felt through the air. 26 completions on 46 attempts for 279 yards, 3 aerial touchdowns, 1 interception, resulting in a passer rating of 87.1. When the final analysis is complete, the distinguishing factor was Denver's ability to manufacture the decisive plays at the most critical junctures, while the Bills faltered spectacularly in those same high-leverage situations. Buffalo's self-destruction was cataloged in a ledger of 5 turnovers, 2 interceptions from Josh Allen, coupled with fumbles, including a pivotal one from Cook. The very fact this game extended into an overtime period, given the stark disparity in giveaways, 5 for Buffalo against a solitary one for Denver, borders on the incomprehensible. Had the Bills executed with even a fraction more precision or fortune, they emerge victorious. Consider the sequence that yielded an interception via a reception. The mechanics were utterly bewildering. A perfectly delivered spiral from Josh Allen was violently and expertly dislodged from the grasp of Brandon Cook in a moment that will live in playoff infamy. Had Cook secured that catch, Buffalo finds itself in prime field position inside the 20-yard line, almost certainly converting a field goal to seal the win. Such are the microscopic, agonizing margins that ultimately define postseason football. The entire affair was a roller coaster of momentum, featuring repeated lead changes, reclaimed advantages, and a game-tying score, all compressed into the frantic fourth quarter, before spilling into an overtime where both franchises had opportunities to claim the result. The single most consequential moment materialized during the Bills' overtime possession. A pass delivered squarely into a receiver's waiting hands, destined to become a highlight reel completion, was instead spectacularly broken up. Earlier, a routine drop by Coleman on an improperly run route that would have moved the chains also looms large in the postmortem. These are the granular details, the minute failures of execution, that irrevocably separate victory from defeat. The Broncos experienced a comparable moment of offensive misfortune, but a timely defensive offsides penalty nullified the potential consequence, a reprieve they fully capitalized upon. From a purely statistical standpoint, Bo Nix might easily have finished with 4 touchdown passes, a dropped score in the end zone by Humphrey, and another critical third-down drop by either Mims or Sutton directly altered the scoring ledger. This was, in every sense, a quintessential and chaotic playoff masterpiece, simultaneously showcasing the ferocious power of Denver's home field advantage. The energy radiating from the crowd was palpable and punishing, visibly depleting the Bills' personnel, who were shown gasping for oxygen, a stark testament to the combined effect of altitude and decibel levels. By securing this victory, the Broncos now guarantee home field advantage for the upcoming AFC Championship game, awaiting the winner of the Patriots-Texans clash. At this precise moment, one must ask, which potential opponent should genuinely inspire trepidation? I am increasingly convinced that no remaining contender in the bracket ought to provoke legitimate fear. Detractors will rightly highlight a defensive unit that conceded 30 points, but context is paramount. A significant portion of those explosive plays originated from Josh Allen's otherworldly capacity to extend plays and create something from nothing, supplemented by key designed runs from Cook. It is a virtual certainty that the Broncos will not face a quarterback possessing Allen's unique blend of passing prowess and rushing threat for the remainder of this postseason journey. Whether the next adversary is the Seahawks, 49ers, Bears, Rams, Patriots, or Texans, a repeat performance of allowing 30 points seems statistically improbable. For extended stretches, the Bills move the ball with concerning ease. Josh Allen himself amassed over 340 passing yards. While the additional possessions in overtime inflate these totals somewhat, the overall defensive performance, despite generating timely turnovers, leaves clear room for desired improvement in down-to-down consistency and schematic execution. My personal inclination is to attribute this outcome more directly to Buffalo's avalanche of self-inflicted errors than to any sustained defensive dominance by Denver, with the obvious and spectacular exception of the game-sealing overtime interception, which was an act of individual athletic larceny. This result will undoubtedly constitute a profoundly challenging day for the legion of Bo Nix skeptics. To propel his team to the AFC Championship game in merely his second professional season, while accounting for over 300 total yards of offense, is a resounding, statement-making achievement. Head coach Sean Payton called a superb strategic game, notably and decisively pivoting away from any pretense of a run-centric offensive identity. It did not feel like an abandonment of the run due to sheer ineffectiveness, but rather a deliberate, calculated choice to place the overwhelming burden of offensive production squarely upon the shoulders of Bo Nix. He was asked to attempt 46 passes and, astoundingly, led the team in rushing attempts, a powerful, undeniable indicator of the coaching staff's absolute trust. The cognitive dissonance here is striking. External commentators and analysts freely express skepticism and doubt regarding Nix's capabilities, while Sean Payton, the individual who observes him daily in meetings and on the practice field, and who possesses an intimate understanding of his strengths and limitations, continues to entrust him with an ever-expanding portfolio of responsibility. Payton's demonstrated confidence stands as the most powerful and credible counter-narrative to the public skepticism. One must truly contemplate the nature of the throws Payton asked Nix to attempt during the overtime period, when the team was already situated in plausible field goal range. The play calls mandated difficult, low-percentage, deep pass concepts where a single mistake or interception would have been season-endingly catastrophic. The degree of trust required to make those calls in that moment is monumental, almost breathtaking. If an observer cannot perceive the sheer magnitude of faith Sean Payton placed in Bo Nix during those climactic, season-defining moments, then a fundamental misunderstanding of football, coaching, and quarterback evaluation exists. The Denver Broncos have, with this victory, emphatically announced their return to the league's apex. As the AFC's #1 overall seed, now poised to host the conference championship on their home turf, they stand a mere 60 minutes of game time away from a Super Bowl appearance, an outcome that feels both thrilling and scarcely believable. Full credit extends to the entire organization for this feat. Individual performances like Marvin Mims' perfect 8-for-8 receiving line were instrumental to the success. A logical objective moving forward will be to establish a more consistent and threatening traditional run game to alleviate some of the perpetual pressure from Nix, though it is undeniable that the chosen formula was ultimately victorious on this day. Those are my comprehensive, elaborated reflections on this monumental event. I would be absolutely delighted to hear your own detailed perspectives. What are your thoughts on Bo Nix's performance and the overall trajectory of the Denver Broncos following this season-defining victory? Please share your insights, analyses, and opinions in the comments section below. I make a point to read every single comment, irrespective of whether it aligns with or contradicts my own viewpoint. Let's engage in some substantive, detailed discussions. Let's have some spirited, passionate debates. But ultimately, let's ensure we all derive enjoyment from the shared experience of dissecting this incredible game. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. We are diligently cultivating an exceptional, thoughtful community here and would absolutely cherish your participation. My overarching aim is to build a digital space where we all feel a genuine, meaningful sense of connection, something we are authentically excited to be a part of. I believe we are making significant, tangible progress toward that goal. Also, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, as such engagement genuinely assists with visibility within the platform's algorithm and helps spread the discussion. Thank you so very much for your time, your attention, and your engagement. I look forward to our next interaction.